Meanwhile, back here in the U.S., police officers who helped defend Capitol Hill against rioting mobs on January 6 in 2021 say they are turning lemons into lemonade. And they are doing that by sharing their stories on the campaign trail in support of Kamala Harris. Harry Dunn is just one of the former Capitol Hill officers who is now a surrogate for the Harris-Walz campaign. And he says the number one thing they have to do is, quote, stop Donald Trump. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now. Thanks so much for being with us, Scott. You're going to talk about that shortly. But first, Scott, we want to get to some breaking news out of Pennsylvania, where a federal judge just dismissed a lawsuit by House GOP members. Can you walk us through what happened there?
This was an 11th hour federal lawsuit filed by a group of U.S. House Republicans from Pennsylvania who are trying to raise the threshold of what you got to do if you are from Pennsylvania, want to vote, but are staying overseas. That could involve thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in that state alone. They wanted to have more vibrant rules, larger scale rules for the type of ID you have to show if you want to vote from overseas. The judge has just thrown that lawsuit out, saying those congressmen don't have proper standing to be filing such a lawsuit, shouldn't be waiting till the 11th hour, and that they really haven't shown a cause of action to make this lawsuit meritorious. It's noteworthy for a few reasons. The dismissal of the case was expected, but there are concerns that some of these last-minute legal challenges for what you have to do to vote from overseas in North Carolina, Michigan, and Pennsylvania can all be mechanized after November 5th by somebody who wants to deny the results of the election and claim this ruling from these judges are part of the reason the losing candidate got robbed. Has echoes of 2020, doesn't it, where lawsuits are made, frivolous lawsuits in some cases, or lawsuits that get dismissed quickly, but still provide fodder for somebody who wants to deny the election after the results are in.
Now, Scott, I want to get back to the story that you've been covering on former Capitol Hill police. Since experiencing the violence that took place on January 6, Harry Dunn has testified before Congress, written a book, and is now hitting the campaign trail. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the experiences he has shared with the voters and how this is being received from state to state?
This is such an unlikely group of campaign surrogates. If you told them a few years ago they would be stars at the podium, they would say, no way is that possible. But at this moment, 7 days from the election closing, everybody who's a surrogate is out there campaigning. It's the spouses, it's the former office holders. Everybody is out there trying to win an election on behalf of the candidates. It also includes these former Capitol police officers who found themselves under the spotlight with a high profile after January 6, when they testified about the horrors they witnessed and the dangers of election denialism and baseless conspiracy theories. They continued to gain profile as politics continued to focus on January 6, as the denialism continued. And now they've become impactful surrogates for Democratic candidates, including Vice President Harris and Tim Walz, doing appearances in battleground states, cutting advertisements, social media posts. They think they have a distinctive credibility because they're not politicians. They're former public servants. They're law enforcement officers. They cut a different pattern than the traditional campaign surrogates. And they have found themselves in demand, going as far as Nevada to New York for congressional races, for state house races. We'll see how the final 7 days treat them, but we do know one of those officers, Aquilino Gonell, who was injured badly on January 6 and had to retire due to his injuries, is cutting advertisements and now being used to target Latino voters in battleground areas, including Pennsylvania. You can see every tool being employed by these campaigns, and these officers have found themselves very popular as campaign help.
Yeah, can't believe it. 1 week left. They're putting out all the stops, no question. Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much.